Hi, this is Britt Kidd from Secure One Properties, and today our video is about 4 common maintenance mistakes that landlords make. The first common maintenance mistake that landlords make is when they assume that their property is perfect, nothing could possibly go wrong, and if something does go wrong, well then, the tenant just did it, right? The tenant caused all the problems. Not necessarily. Now, let's say the tenant called you and the dishwasher's not working. They say the dishwasher stopped working. And your response is, well, when you moved in 8 months ago, it worked perfectly. You must have broken it. I'm not fixing it. Click. It's probably not going to yield the best results for you. If you start your discourse off with the tenant from an accusatory state, that's going to create friction between you and the tenant. The repair won't be handled properly, and it will most likely end up in a vacancy because they won't be very happy with their service that they receive at the home. So my best piece of advice for you would be to hire vendors that are skillful and licensed, who you trust, to go to the property and assess the repair. They can report back to you if it truly is something that the tenant caused, or if it's just normal wear and tear, or it's just a malfunction. Maybe the pump in the dishwasher went bad. Things do happen. So the tenant does not always cause the problems at the property. There is something called normal wear and tear, and things do happen. The second common maintenance mistake that landlords make is when they hire unlicensed, uninsured, and unskilled vendors to work at the property. Now, if you hire an unlicensed or uninsured vendor to do work at the home and they get hurt, there's a very high chance that your insurance company will not cover their injuries. Additionally, if you just hire the neighborhood handyman to do electrical work or full bathroom remodels at the home, there's also a very high chance that the work might not be done up to the best standards, and then when the tenant moves in, pipes burst, or the electrical wires aren't hooked up properly, which is just going to cause you more money in the long run. So the golden rule is hire plumbers for plumbing, electricians for electrical work, roofers for roofing, etc. The third common mistake that landlords make with maintenance is when they allow tenants to make repairs at the property. Now, I'm not talking about changing out light bulbs or putting in a new air conditioning filter. Those are expected. I'm talking about electrical rewiring, roof repairs, bathroom remodels, etc. Your tenant is most likely not a licensed electrician or a roofer, so they should never be going on the roof, and they should not be messing around with the electrical wires. This just sounds like a liability. Please don't ask tenants to do these kinds of things. Additionally, some landlords might get into maybe a verbal agreement with the tenant that the tenant agrees to do some upgrades to the property in exchange for a lower rent. Well, when the landlord does a walkthrough, or maybe after the tenant moves out, none of these upgrades have been taken care of and the tenant's been paying a lower rent. So my advice for you would be to not allow tenants to make repairs or upgrades to the home. And the fourth common maintenance mistake that landlords make is when they don't respond promptly to maintenance. This is probably the most common mistake that landlords make. When a tenant emails you or calls you with a maintenance request, you do need to respond, let them know that you've received the request and you'll handle it properly, especially in those health and safety emergency situations. Those include, mainline backups, or air conditioning goes out in the heat of summer, or a water damage issue. You need to respond promptly and quickly to those maintenance emergency requests, because those are health and safety issues. And if you can't pick up the phone at 2 in the morning, or answering phone calls on the weekend, or responding to tenants after hours is just too stressful for you, or maybe you just don't have vendors who can assess the difference between a tenant-related damage and normal wear and tear, it's probably time for you to pick up the phone and call your local property management company to help you out. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned some things.